I'm Pranesh. I've been in this farming right from childhood actually. So it's not that we got into this. It's an ancestral place. This is our ancestral village. We have been here for more than 7 generations at least. So right from childhood I was always interested in nature and farming and the cows. That's something which enticed me. But as usual we went into our corporate career. So I went into a corporate career into the pharmaceutical industry. I spent about 25 years in the pharma industry. I was at senior levels in the pharma industry in some leading companies. Then at a particular time, you call it as an inflection point sometime. So the interest turned into a more intense kind of change because of some trigger from my dad actually. So one day he came home and told, you have to take care of the farm. He used to take care of the farm. I used to be a person who used to be a visitor enjoying the farm. Okay. So I used to provide all the required support, but then he used to take care of the farm. But some few years back, about 4 years back, he came one day night and told, you have to take care of the farm and cows. We had 20 odd cows at that time. So I was wondering what should I do now? He is like pushing me into the thing, and I was in a corporate career. I was still working at that time. And I just checked what can be done. So then I was Googling and then finding out what can we do with cow-based farming and all that. Then I saw that there's some demand for desi cow-based milk and milk products. So I started delivering, posting in the Facebook on social media that we have desi cow milk, some 10-15 liters from 20 odd cows. And there are people who showed interest, and we started delivering in nearest areas in Bangalore. And our journey started from there. So see, Matruka we started with as a family. It was a family farm. We gave a name to it, Matruka. The name we gave Matruka was 3. One, Matruka in Sanskrit means mother's gift. We call our cow as mother. We call our land on which we stand as mother, Bhumitai, and our mother, own person who has given birth. So the first farm which I had, the first 3 acres was my mother's gift. The parents, they developed that land and gave. Then the whole venture started because of our cows, right? It's an integrated farming based on cow-based natural farming. So it's mother's gift from cow and also the bhumi. So that's what Matruka is. In Matruka Goshala, we have 4 different breeds of cows. And the main breed which we have is Hallikar. In fact, we can see this as a Hallikar conservation center. We have more than 200 Hallikar cows here. And Hallikar is a native breed of Karnataka and Tamil Nadu region. Main feature about Hallikar is it's considered as and documented that Hallikar is the mother breed of many South Indian breeds. So from a genetic point of view, when we do the research, it's found that Hallikar has a pure genetic characteristics when we say about A2 genes. And that's one of the reasons why we chose Hallikar. At the same time, while this is one of the mother breeds of Indian cows, the number of Hallikars is coming down day by day. And that is one of the reasons why we chose Hallikar for conservation and development. And most importantly, Hallikar is suited for these agroclimatic conditions, the topography, the forests here are hilly terrain where the rocks are there. They with their long legs, they are almost like horse-like kind of structure. They are very well suited for going into the forest and grazing without any injuries, and they are well suited to these climatic conditions. The cows here are predominantly dependent on open grazing. When I say open grazing, it's not just in the fields. They do graze in the fields as well, but mainly in the forest. We are on the border of a reserve forest, so they go into the forest in the morning and come back in the evening. So 80% of their feed is dependent on forest grazing. And almost like 9 months in a year at least we have good fodder in the forest, and that's their primary source of nutrition. When they go for forest grazing, they are eating a lot of herbs, just not a particular type of grass. So inherently they are disease resistant. So you don't need to give them any medicines or antibiotics to keep them healthy. And even if they are falling sick, you use some herbs from the forest. Our people know which herbs to be used. They get cured within a day or 2. That's a big advantage which we have. And that keeps them very healthy. The quality of milk is extremely good compared to a stall-fed milk. So it's quite a different approach from what the commercial dairy farming is. So for example, the dairies, high-tech commercial dairies, they have a concept of 24-hour feeding. Right? You feed the cow continuously 24 hours and milk the cows 3 times a day. You get almost 30-40 liters of milk per day, right? Which means that you are like, treating the cow like a machine. That's quite a different, and the life of a cow is not more than 4-5 years. The cow has lost its life and then it's sent for butchering, right? It is in fact a harmful thing. I'm no denying to that. The model here is different. Here it's a more of an emotional attachment. First thing, it starts with our emotion, our feelings. Here they are like our family members. Like incidentally, I'll tell you, it's a coincidence. This one which you see here is a bull. It has been there, it's a bull, or usually people give away the bulls. You see so many bulls here. This bull, when it was a calf, it was born in my house inside the village, not in this Goshala. It used to be in my bed. How can you think of, it's a different kind of emotional attachment. Now, the second thing is, here we don't force feed. The cows are left freely to graze. They graze conveniently at their own pace in the forest. They come back, they give enough milk to the calves. Whether it's a male calf or female calf, you can see all the male calves are also there, they're very healthy. Then after that, whatever is left, maybe 1 liter, 2 liters in the morning, 1 2 liters in the evening, 3 liters maybe in a day is what we milk, right? So it's a very sustainable way of farming where the cows are not force fed. It is not like a machine farming. We don't use machines for milking the cows. We milk the cows by hand. That's when we create an emotional bonding and love with the cows. When we touch, we clean them, we feed them, we care for them and all that. We are in the chilling and packing section of our Matruka dairy. We have a very simple operation. As you know, we provide farm fresh raw milk. We don't do any kind of processing. So the usual commercial dairy process is like, what happens is there are small farmers, they collect the milk. There are small collection centers in each village. Then the farmers, they put the milk in the collection center in the nearby village. The collection center then accumulates and takes it to the nearest chilling center. From that chilling center, then the milk goes to the larger chilling center. Then from there, the big containers take it to the dairies. This whole process takes about 3 days. So by the time the milk really reaches the consumer, it's maybe even 4th day. So, and then it involves multiple steps of processing, because milk is a very highly perishable item. So you can understand that, if you are really, such a long supply chain, if you have to maintain, you have to maintain various products. That is what is avoided in our kind of operation. The only 2 things we do are simply just chilling the milk to 4 degrees. When we milk the cows, the milk is around 32 degrees. From there, we have to bring it down to 4 degrees as quickly as possible. Then we pack it immediately in pouches. Now you see here we have a very simple process. These are chilling machines. These are called as bulk milk chillers. We have the temperature, you can see it come down to 4 degrees. So this is the ideal temperature for the milk to be packed. Then we simply automatically pack it in the packing machine, the pouch packing machine. And from the pouch packing machine, the milk is taken to the insulated crates. These crates are insulated crates. They hold the temperature of the milk to up to 8 hours. So the temperature is maintained at 4 degrees. From these crates again are transferred in insulated container vehicles, which again hold the temperature properly till the milk reaches the consumers, so that the freshness of the milk is ensured till the milk is reaching the consumers. From the time of milking the cows, which is for example in the morning around 8 o'clock, before 6 o'clock in the evening the milk reaches the consumers. If the previous day night, before morning 4 o'clock it reaches the consumers. So from the time of milking to the milk reaching the consumers, it's just around 8 hours. So that's our endeavor to provide absolutely farm fresh, raw, unpasteurized, non-homogenized milk without any preservatives or any kind of processing. So in about 4 years, today we are in a situation where we are at about 250 cows plus cows, and with 5 different breeds of cows. And with about 20 people working in the farm full time, maybe around 10-15 people coming and going off and on part time. And we also expanded. The farm was initially we started only with only cereals we used to grow, not much of vegetables. We used to maybe grow some vegetables for our own home use. Now we started growing vegetables for even consumers. What I see is, in farming, it's also entrepreneurship. So you put something, you get out something, but how do you do it? It's in an ethical way or a not so ethical way. So you choose. It's a direction. Be it an industry or a farming, it's the same. Here, there is more option for you to do it in an ethical way than in an industrial setup. And when you do it in an ethical way, your returns may not be as good as what you expect, but it gives a lot of satisfaction that you're doing something good for yourself and for the society around you. At the same time, while you're doing something ethical, you can always improve. You can always innovate, you can improve, you can change. It's not that you need to, you can learn. Every day is a learning. Honestly, it's 4 years, every day I see a new learning. And Most importantly, only one thing I think is, if from previous day to next day there is even 0.1% improvement or 1% change, where it is improvement or not improvement we will know later, but if there is a change, I am happy from previous day to next day. That's something which keeps driving me.